guys were talking amongst yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah, so like I was saying, that stout is seasonal release. It's a little bit of like a smaller release, not as big as our summer beer, but but it is one that is always very well received and always a favorite when we come out with it. Usually, you can find it readily in between the months of December and February. Then once spring starts to come about, then it becomes a little bit harder to find.
Right.
But yeah, it's good beer for sure.
That's
really
good beer.
Really good, easy drinking stout. A little bit sweet, not too thick,
Right.
but not, it's still got a little bit some like coffee, like chocolate notes to it as well. And yeah, it's
It's really good.
definitely a favorite for
I was
me.
just telling
anyway,
him. I was just telling Ted that I was in Denver many moons ago. I went to the Rock Bottom there, and they had this cookies and cream stout,
Okay,
which was just delicious.
nice.
And
Nice, yeah.
I don't know whether it's because it was just the mood I was in or what, but I mean, I honestly rated that probably as like my most favorite stout I've ever had.
Awesome. Yeah.
And then like over the years, little by little, hitting Triumph and hitting places in Baltimore and DC, like I've had all these other stouts and stuff. I was like, but this stout is really good. This is
Yeah.
delicious.
That's another fun beer too that we can play around with casks. I know I was saying before, like aging like grapefruit zest and IPA and our
Right.
one IPA. That's a really fun one to do, and it's a bunch of different things you can do with that beer too. You can, when we do casks with that beer, you can add in like cinnamon and vanilla to give it some like cinnamon and vanilla notes to that, in addition to that beer. Some chocolate with chilies as well to make it like a little bit more of like a spicy stout as well, which seems to be popular sometimes.
Can you put
can
peanut
just-
butter in that?
Peanut butter would be tough without using, unless you're using some chemicals in there and to simulate a peanut butter taste.
Right.
That would be tough. That'd be tough to do. But I mean, we've done like hazelnut, which is
Hazelnut
pretty good.
would be
Yeah,
good.
like hazelnut with chocolate, or just
Right.
straight hazelnut. Or you can do like bourbon soaked oak chips. Is
Okay.
what we use for some casks as well, including for that we've done bourbon soaked oak chips in our Triple Horse.
What do you think you would use for like a Kahlua taste?
I mean, you could soak
Like a Kahlua stout?
you could soak oak chips with Kahlua
Right.
and just let them soak for a few days,
right.
and
And then put
take
them
those
in-
oak chips and put it in the beer.
in the patch.
Because the oak chips, I mean, they'll give definitely some vanilla notes just from the oak itself, but then
Right.
they're mostly absorbing whatever liquor they're being aged in as
Mm-hmm.
well. So you'll get notes of both, which is cool. But yeah, it's
I only ask
we've
because
done like Frangelico soaked oak chips as well.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so it's a hazelnut liqueur, but it's just a different type of hazelnut taste a little bit. That's always worked out well too. So
it said, what if we did like a Butter Love stout?
We could definitely do a Butter Love stout. But I mean, what was in the Butter Love? Forget.
It was
You,
20 years ago.
Your
How do I
recipe.
remember?
Your recipe, though.
So we had a house party at now called College of New Jersey.
okay,
Tri-State.
okay, yeah.
We had a party at one of the quads, and somehow, I don't know how, I was still 20, going on 21,
Okay,
and I was put in charge of all the alcohol.
okay,
Sounds about right.
Yeah, so I was making drinks.
yeah.
So the one thing I brought that I got through connections that I purchased was I bought like a giant jug of butterscotch schnapps.
Okay,
So I started making some drinks here and there with all kinds of stuff. Somebody brought kiwis in, so I was in there, scooping kiwi and crushing it. Like I was making like the craziest drinks. And then all of a sudden, somebody walks in with like a gallon of milk. So I was like, I got butterscotch. All right, cool. So I started making a drink,
yeah.
and I called it Butter Love.
Butter Love, nice.
And it was basically like milk, butterscotch, vodka, Kahlua, Bailey's and I don't remember. I don't really. It's hazy. It's 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But it was along that lines. But it was like mainly like a butterscotch Kahlua type of drink.
Okay. Yeah.
And literally like I'm serious. Like it wasn't the 750. It was like the big jug of Kahlua, of butterscotch sauce. The thing was empty. The Kahlua was all gone. The Bailey was all gone. The milk was all gone.
Nice.
Like I made so much of this stuff. Like it literally ran out to the point where all I had was like I think I had a little bit of Bailey's left maybe. So I started making like additional drinks. Somebody else went to like their quad like 2 rows down or whatever, brought more milk.
Yep.
So then I made another drink called like shrapnel. No, I made a shrapnel.
Grenade, and then there was also
I made
shrapnel.
grenade. I made a drink called grenade
Okay.
because I had 151 in it, but it was covered up by all this sweetness.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that you were drinking, you're like, oh, this is sweet as hell. But it was like grenade, like you pull a pin, a couple minutes later you're drunk as hell. Like a couple minutes later you're like, what the hell happened to me? I'm really drunk.
Yeah. How did I get this drunk? I have no idea.
And then I ran out of all other ingredients. So I'm like reaching out from the bathroom, which was I had commandeered on the second floor.
Yeah.
Of the quad. I'm reaching in the back. I literally opened the fridge. I'm like, what the fuck? I need something else. Like I'm out of everything.
Yeah.
And I made an additional drink called shrapnel, which is like the baby brother of grenade because I have 51 in it. But like that was like the one thing like Ted, my boy Hakeem the Dream, Dan, because we nicknames.
We call them Hakeem the Dream.
Hakeem the Dream, yeah.
Nice.
Dan the Cyclops.
I tried contacting Dan to come down here, but he couldn't make it.
Nah, he can't. He's not gonna make it down here. I mean, he works in Princeton, but it'd be different if it was like an after work type of thing on like a weekday or something. But like that's the one thing they tease me about. Like it's been 20 years since that's happened, and they still tease me like, "What the hell were you making in that bathroom?" And they all they all remember Butter Love. Like,
and the best part is that we made it in the bathroom. It
yes.
literally is like it's like what do they call the bathroom gin or something like that. It's like hooch.
It's a bathroom. All right. It was just sweet hooch. Like my goal was to get all the girls drunk, obviously.
Right.
And then then the guys.
It still is.
Well, yeah. I mean, it is true. I know my wife. My wife loves. I can't remember the name of the drink now, but it's like a pinkish type of liqueur. Comes in like a glass bottle. It kind of flutes up a little bit. I can't remember the name of it.
That next tour's coming out soon, in like 3 minutes.
What is?
Tour.
Tour? So I gotta go on tour?
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go on tour.
I'll go on tour.
Yeah. So
All right.
I'm setting up the. What we're gonna do, guys, is right now we're gonna get Gabe to go on tour.
All right, let me finish eating then.
Literally, it's gonna be like Beyonce up in there. All right, do you have Zoom on your phone?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that mic's gonna work all the way back there.
I do too.
Yeah, give it back to me. Yeah. So Gabe's gonna be our mobile feed here on camera 3. We're gonna switch to the Zoom cam here in a few minutes here.
What's the Zoom ID?
Okay. It is. I want to like.
Otherwise, everybody's jumping in Zoom.
Yeah, everybody jumping on Zoom. I expect nothing less from you guys. So. All right. That camera. All you have right now is a picture of Gatorade, by the way.
Yes.
Can you get the Gatorade out of there?
Do I have to?
Yes, because you have to.
All right.
There you go.
it is.
All right.
There it
So
is.
Gabe is going to go on tour, on a beer tour here in just a few minutes. Here.
All right.
Do we need to sign him up or something?
No, you're good. You're good.
All right.
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah.
Let me mute this. How do I mute the audio? Mute. There we go.
Nope. All right. So he's got his thing going on. When the next tour happens, he'll be able to go on tour in about a minute. We're gonna send you can bring your beer.
Okay.
We want more pizza. Got more pizza.
Yeah. I'll grab some in a few minutes. Yeah.
When we get back, we'll set up the. Alright, this is Georgia. Yeah, that's fine. Very cool.
Yeah, they'll be calling people up for the tour. And
You can see it's pretty crowded for the tour
too.
I'll be right here. You guys, you won't hear me.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't hear a bloody word you're saying. Good. All right. I'm gonna have to move over where Gabe is sitting so I can be actually on the camera here for a bit. Gabe, start low-key filming, gray jacket guy. He's still giving you shit. I don't know. I know he's. Yeah. It must have. Totally. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna send Gabe on a tour, and then you'll be able to see the rest of the brewery as we go through it. Which will be fun to do. Yeah. I mean, at the same time, when we're done with this whole thing, if you guys ever want to use any of this footage for whatever, we could always.
Sure.
I'm gonna cut this up as far as like a full thing and then clips of stuff. So
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely, man.
Oh wow! All right, you're hearing the voice from there. Okay.
Want to go up? I mean, I'll turn it down now.
No, it's up to you. It's cool. I'm not getting any reverb yet, so.
Okay. When I go out there, I'll turn it up so I can hear a little bit of what you guys are saying, in case you want me to point at or look at something specific.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, just go to do the tour, and then whoever's going to give you the tour, they'll tell you everything there, give you some beer, probably. Bring your stout.
You'll get you can bring that with you, and then you're gonna get you'll get 2 samples like throughout the tour as well.
Yep.
I think the stout is actually something that's on tap out there,
Just
and then
add it to your beer.
and then our amber ale is another one that's on tap back there. I think I'm pretty sure right now.
And that's what the special ale is. The special,
the special ale.
is
Yep.
the amber.
Yeah.
And you actually can tap on your window. No, the other window. Yeah, there you go. Now you know what you're looking at instead of like. Yeah. Hey!
Science.
Science! Hooray! Oh man. When you put that beer in you put that one stout on ice?
I put it in the cooler up here, so it'll be sitting there for a little bit, and then
Okay.
probably by the time you come back, it'll be
You open that up.
it'll be cool enough to.
What is that?
It's a bourbon barrel aged imperial stout.
Whereas that is like 5.6.
That's 6.5. The
Bourbon barrel.
the other
aged.
one's 12%. So double that. But yeah.
See, man, if you roll with me, I give you, I let you see things.
I gotta get wins today, man. I gotta get money for Saturday.
No, seriously. You'll be fine. You'll be more
You don't
more
have to drink a whole
brazen.
glass of it. You can just
Yeah,
sample
I
it.
have to.
Sample it.
I hate wasting
I'll give some samples to somebody else too.
Yeah.
Share it around a little bit.
I love it.
Yeah.
Share alike. Someone jumped on here. His name is Monkey. Before,
Yeah.
I think that might have been Mark
Who?
Bayford.
Oh yeah.
I think so, because this cat's Monkey. He has a cat named Monkey, and I know he. Actually, I can check the scores. I can actually harass him. I hope
be funny if it
hope they
was.
lost.
Yeah.
I don't think they did because they were playing Burnley, but no, they didn't lose. Anyway, yeah, we got our match tomorrow at 11. That's gonna be it's up to you. You don't need to. I mean, it literally attaches to your phone. Like, you just pull it up, do that. You can use it as a thing, or you hold your phone, whichever you want to do. You know. But you have like that gator case, so if it falls out of it, it should be good.
There you go. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Just not going to be on
She
camera.
does not want to be on camera today.
All right, he's off.
I'm out of here.
Gabe's out. He's going to go grab the.
What's that? The stout? Yeah. You want to leave it here? You said? Okay. Yeah, no problem.
All right. So
Yeah,
Gabe,
you'll get 2 samples out there. Yeah.
we're sending Gabe out there on a tour. So this we're actually showing. I'm gonna move this so you can see what he's seeing, and if you want to comment on it.
Oh yeah.
you can.
Yeah, sure.
So again, I don't know. We're not gonna hear anything the guy's saying, by the way. But Gabe, we're just sending him on the tour because
So you can see the facility
you
and
can see the
everything.
facility exactly. You know. So he's kind of going over the whole thing right now. So what are those barrels that you're seeing right there? Those are the ones you're doing like the barrel aged cast stuff, or?
Yeah. So we those particular barrels that are right behind the tour guide, the 8 on the right, the two higher rows,
Yep.
and those are red wine barrels from a winery in North Jersey. It's Alba Vineyards. Are those where those wine barrels are from?
Oh wow.
They were used for our 20th anniversary beer, and they're
Okay.
empty. They're empty currently. They don't have anything in them right now. They're just kind of just on display. We'll probably get one more use out of them at some point.
How many times can you actually use those barrels though?
For the notes that you get out of them, so wherever we buy them from, whether they're wine or whiskey, you'll get like definitely two good uses out of them.
Okay.
After the second use, they sort of become neutral, and neutral barrels are still good because you can use them for sours as well.
Gotcha.
And so there's still oak, so you still get some oak notes out of it, but you won't necessarily get wine or whiskey notes out of it, or rum. Actually, the other 8 barrels that are over there next to the wine barrels, they are Peruvian rum barrels.
Ooh.
And we used that for a beer that we did a couple years ago, and now they're just kind of on display. Some of the tables that are in our tasting room are the Peruvian rum barrels. This one that the computer's sitting on is used for. It was a Peruvian rum barrel that we used once for a beer, and couldn't really get another use out of it. And,
Okay.
Probably be the same with all those other rum barrels eventually, but as of now, they make a nice display for people to see on a tour. And there were some other barrels that, red wine barrels that we used. We did like a darker sour beer, like almost like a Flemish,
Okay.
like a Flemish red, that kind of like like Duchess de
Yeah.
Bourgogne. We made a beer similar to that anyway, and we just put it into barrels last
Oh
night.
wow.
And we put in addition to the sour, we added some black currant puree as well. So the currants have like a nice tart characteristic to them, and that's going to sit in the barrels until probably the fall, I guess. So they'll sit in there for a while.
Holy shit.
So that'll be a sour beer that'll be in a big bottle that we'll release later this year too.
Okay. It looks like he's describing the actual barrels, the system. Or
Yeah.
maybe
Yep. Yeah.
He's talking about that right now.
Yep.
I'm actually
Yeah.
surprised Gabe has never been on a tour before. I mean,
He's never been on this one?
I don't think this is
No?
this is actually probably his first brewery tour.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So,
That's pretty cool.
yeah. He, I mean, again, he said he's not a big beer drinker, but he just don't mind what I'm doing here.
No,
It's a
that's
little OCD. I gotta get this in the center, otherwise it bothers me. But yeah, so I mean, like, when I was telling him I'm coming hanging out here today, he was like, "Oh yeah, definitely, I want to come and hang out." 'Cause
Yeah,
he's never
yeah.
been to. I don't think he's ever been to a brewery before.
Okay.
So
That's
it's
cool.
one of his first times here. I mean, I've been on brewery tours. I mean, I've walked around the brewery with you, and
Yeah.
also, and other times where I just come to the River Horse.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
prior to the virtual tour, which is amazing. But so they're going on to the next stop here.
They'll go to the brew house first.
Yeah. So this is like extra commentary here, guys. Look at this.
Yeah, right? Yeah, the first part, you guys can't hear what the tour guide's saying, but the first part is just a little introduction on the brewery itself, the history, kind of what we went over earlier in the show.
Yep.
And now the tour guide, Chris is his name, he's moving on to the brew house. He'll take you into our mill room where all of our grain is, most of our grain is stored, and kind of the whole process of how brewing gets started.
That tube is coming
That
out of
is
there.
a grain auger.
Okay.
So it's basically like a 4 or 5 inch PVC pipe that goes from that wall on the other side of that wall, which you'll probably go into, which Chris, the tour guide, will probably go into. There's a silo on the other side of that wall, which all the grain is kept for whatever brew is coming up next that day. And there's an auger. You ever see what the inside of an auger looks like? Especially if it's like a big corkscrew.
Yeah.
And it's flexible, but that's what's inside that pipe. And so it's corkscrew, so it just spins, and as it spins, it brings all the grain from that silo, the bottom of the silo on the other side of that wall, up through that pipe, and it's all crushed, and then it goes into the kettle. And it augers it into the kettle. So that's
what is that right there that they use?
Those are just samples of hops and malt, just to people can taste them or just see what they look like.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't recommend tasting the pelletized hops. But
no. It's great when you drop it into.
But the grain actually tastes okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Like if you wanted to eat a whole piece of barley, it actually tastes pretty good.
Gabe, I don't know if you can hear me, but you should sniff some hops. Sniff some hops. I'm personally less interested in the beer, more interested in mechanical equipment. Is it wrong? No, it's not wrong. The whole process of brewing beer is amazing, and the mechanical equipment that's part of that, is also quite awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah.
I mean, it takes a lot less to make a mead than it does to make a beer.
Yeah.
In that sense.
For sure. And both, all interesting processes. And stuff is done differently. He's got some hops in his hand. Yeah.
Sniffing hops.
But it's cool. All the processes are very, whether you're making beer or making cider or making mead, whatever it is, it's all very cool. Just different processes and things that the way people do things, and even differences between small breweries and large breweries are insane. Just how technical everything gets, and how advanced all the machines get, and the more the bigger breweries you go to versus smaller breweries like us, or even smaller, which is even more manual of a process. But it's they get it done one way or another. There's just different ways to do it. And it's cool to see the different ways that people are doing it to achieve the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like
based on their means.
We were talking about this when we first last week, but Alaskan Brewing Company. I was telling you how Alaskan Brewing Company uses all their spent grain.
Right. Yeah.
You guys actually take the spent grain and ship it off to a farmer.
Yep.
Whereas Alaskan Brewing Company, since they're landlocked, not landlocked, but they are. They can't get in by car or only get in by boat or plane. They can't get in by car. They're actually reusing their grain as fuel to cook to brew the wort.
That's awesome.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, again, the mechanics of it is just pretty amazing when you think about it.
Yeah. It is.
And the graffiti is awesome. I'll be honest with you. I love that.
The graffiti is awesome. Yeah, we have a good relationship with a couple of artists, a couple of graffiti artists that are based out of Jersey City.
Okay.
Up in North Jersey. They actually have a whole warehouse in North Jersey that they rent out to showcase all different art pieces, and it's this huge warehouse, and they have pieces all throughout the entire building, inside and outside of the building as well.
Okay.
Which is really cool. But we've known these guys for a long time. They've been doing it for a while, and they did usually just a couple of small pieces on canvas graffiti art for us that are hanging in our tasting room. And when we moved, that was when we were in Lambertville, and then when we moved to our Ewing facility here, they decided hey, we really want to take this opportunity. You got blank cement walls all over the place, cinder block walls all over the place.
I mean, why the hell not at that point?
To tag up your walls with all River Horse, themed stuff, and they did it, and they did an awesome job. And it was only a few days it took them to do everything. And there's some more graffiti on other walls that you probably won't see on this tour, but they did a great job with everything that they did in here. It was pretty cool. Yeah. So they're in the mill room right now.
Okay.
So that silo that's right behind the tour guide, Chris, that's called a grist mill. And you can see another similar PVC pipe that's a little bit smaller that's leading to the top of that grist mill.
Gotcha.
So, and connected to the other side of that is the mill itself. So the mill is what crushes all of the malted barley, and
Makes it easier for when you're actually brewing the wort to actually process the sugar.
yeah, you have to crush it all because it exposes all of the sugars that are inside the malted barley,
Yep.
and all the sugars immediately go into solution, and that will later ferment into alcohol. So that's where most of the sugars come from that create that alcohol, and then depending on how much malted barley you use, it's how strong your beer is going to be. And then there's
Right.
still different varieties of malt as well. But our system specifically, whatever beer we're planning on brewing, will add all of the malt into that grist case, and that's the beer that we're going to be brewing next.
Okay.
So I don't think there's currently anything in that right now, but probably tomorrow morning there will be something milled in for that to start brewing on Monday morning.
Okay.
We usually mill in for something a few hours before we start actually brewing it. And then we just kind of like piggyback off of each brew as the day goes on. We'll do like 4 brews in a day.
Okay.
So we just kind of just keep constantly milling in. Since it's a Saturday, Saturday's our only day that we're down in production completely, so there's nothing going to be in there right now.
So what is he talking about there? That is the.
So those are the 2 kettles. The
wort
one on the right of your screen is the mash tuns. That's where all of the malt goes into originally. That's the beginning of the brewing process.
Right.
Where all of the malt that you saw in the grist case silo in the other room gets augered above where the camera is, and then into the mash tun, along with 180 degree water.
And that ends up creating the wort that you're going to be.
Once everything's all mixed in, that creates the wort, and then it gets drained out through the bottom of the kettle, and then over into the lauter tun, which is the vessel on the other side, on the left of your screen.
Okay.
And
Thing with the door open, like you're saying.
the
Sorry,
kettle
my left. You're right.
on the left of the screen. His right.
Got it.
And that's the lauter tun on the other side on the left side of the screen. The tour guide's right, and that is where you actually bring the wort up to a boil.
Gotcha.
And there's hop additions that go into the lauter tun as well. There's different hop additions depending on what beer you're making. There's usually an addition after 30 minutes, then after 60 minutes, and depending on what you're doing, just whatever flavor you're trying to achieve. But it's in the beginning, towards the beginning of the boil, it's all like more bittering hops, and then as the boil goes on, towards the end of the boil, it's more for aroma. A little bit of bittering hops as well, but more aroma than anything. And so he's describing that whole process right now. And then once he's describing the whole process of all the sugars are breaking down into solution, things like that, and then once he's done in that area, he'll take us into the cellar to show the next the next phase of when wort becomes beer, and then when it starts fermenting, things like that. This is all this equipment that you're seeing. This is all original equipment, or not original, but all equipment that we brought from Lambertville to this facility. So we've bought new fermenters since we've been here, but the whole brew house where he is right now is all equipment that we moved.
Oh, wow.
Moved ourselves from one location to the new one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I love the fact that people are using the viewfinders, by the way.
That's great. Yeah.
People are educating themselves at this moment. Matter of fact, I haven't looked at them yet, but I kind of want to look at the hippo one.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah. Some pretty cool facts about hippos, actually.
Yeah.
I think hippos can hold their breath underwater for like 5 minutes. Yep.
Jesus Christ. The education is done.
Yeah.
It's quick.
A lot of people, especially people that have been here before, they tend to scroll through it very, very quickly. So they already know, but they're in a rush to drink.
They're in a rush to have a pint. All right, I'm grabbing another piece of pizza. You want another one? A piece of pizza?
Yeah, sure.
Grab it. Cold pizza. Feel like I'm back in college. People just walking behind us, checking all this stuff out.
Yeah, right.
So he's continuing the tour. You can see the boxes of the triple horse on the side there.
Yep.
All that sort of stuff. Yeah, that's the one thing I was hoping to. I wish you guys had. It was like food trucks out there.
I know. That's another thing that that makes, with Jersey specifically, that makes it difficult for us to do.
They won't let you have food trucks?
Not all the time. It has to be a private event, and
Really?
it has to be a private event, and
Uh-oh.
and funds have to be going to charity.
Oh, I think we lost the feed.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait, he's back. He's back. All right. They're pouring him beer. I think he needs a beer. That's what he needs. It's actually kind of funny commentating on like Gabe's process through the brewery. Uh-oh.
To toaster, the metal used is all stainless for all the tanks. Everything, all the tanks, the lauter tun, mash tun, and all the fermenters as well. And most of our bottling line equipment is all stainless.
Yep.
It sees a lot of chemicals for cleaning, and stainless is the only thing that can stand up. Like a high grade stainless can stand up to all the chemicals without corroding.
Do you think he's gonna lose like video? He's on his phone, right? So he's using his data.
He shouldn't. It's usually pretty good.
I wonder why he's like
Pretty good data even.
Man. I think Gabe wants a stout. Yeah, he's taking a stout. Look at that.
Yep. There he
It
is.
didn't take much.
There he is.
Oh, geez. Thank you, Dan. Appreciate that, man. 13 viewers. Cheers to you, guy. Yeah, Dan's a good guy. He's from England. Commander Human.
Oh yeah.
Can't go wrong with that. I met him. We met up with him at PAX. My man was the feed. Oh, there we go.
He shouldn't be going further than that. He won't be going more into the into the cellar.
One way or another. It's just it's a way to show
Should have given
what
him
you
the
guys
Wi-Fi
are.
password,
That's all right.
but data signal should be okay in there. But,
Yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
But-
coming through nice. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see any problem with it. It's just every once in a while.
Right.
Yeah, thanks, Toaster. Appreciate that, mate. Yeah, definitely give a SO command to Dan. Awesome streamer. If you haven't looked, check that command name, man. You gotta check him out.
Nice.
So, did anybody ever tell you the reason why the name was originally named River Horse? I know it's because of the hippos, but why a hippo?
So, a name for a hippo in Africa is actually a river horse.
Right.
So, it started from that. That's part of the reason. Another reason is because especially in ancient hieroglyphics, the brewing process, whenever it was depicted in hieroglyphics, a hippo was always present in hieroglyphics.
Really? Why?
And also, they believe that the hippo was a symbol of sustenance and fertility,
Okay.
and
That
it was
makes
always
sense.
present when depicting the brewing process. And so
Wow.
so that was always present. And in Africa, hippos were always called river horse.
Gotcha.
And when the brewery started in Lambertville, we were right along the Delaware Canal.
Right. That makes
So
sense.
I think the original owners figured we're right along Delaware Canal, and had all these other facts they already knew about hippos for, I don't know where they learned them from, but one way or another they learned about it.
Right.
And so they came out with, let's do River Horse Brewing Company. I guess it had a good name, a good sounding name to it, clean and just
Oh yeah.
not a complicated name anyway, and
No.
gets people asking about it. And so it's
I mean, it's the first time I've ever inquired why the name, of
Yeah.
River Horse. So
Yeah.
it makes sense. I never even realized it was like based on like in Egypt they had like it was associated to both those attributes of like
yeah,
food and fertility and
right, right. Yeah, so now he's
He's at the fermenters, right? So
he's by the fermenters right now. What's interesting too about just as far as growth as a company, which it's pretty cool. Like I said, we moved most of our equipment and most of our tanks from Lambertville to this facility. Eventually, when we needed more of a capacity, we sold some smaller fermenters and replaced them with bigger fermenters. So
it makes sense, especially with the capacity. You want to up the level of capacity
Right.
for your new facility.
yeah, and without actually taking up more space in our warehouse. So like it's basically it's almost the same footprint on the warehouse floor
Oh, okay.
for a tank. It's maybe like a foot in diameter more in space, but it's not really that much space to sacrifice. But the tanks are taller, they're wider. The legs, where the legs are actually mounted in the ground, they're not taking up a lot more space, but it's a lot more volume in that tank. So we went from we only had 40 barrel fermenters. That was the only size fermenters that we had in Lambertville. We moved all those fermenters to Ewing, and I think when we moved here, we bought 2 more 40 barrel fermenters, and then eventually we sold 4 of our 40 barrel fermenters and replaced them with 4 100 barrel fermenters.
Oh wow. So it's like 60. It's upping that like.
So it's 2.5 times the size
Yeah.
per fermenter for each one. So that upped our volume, and we're looking to do that with 2 more fermenters in the summer.
Oh wow.
So
you said 800. How many gallons of beer per year?
we do this time of year it's like 18,000 barrels a year.
So after this change, how much would it be?
I mean, after that change, we would add another 120 barrels worth of volume.
Okay.
And granted, we'll start to slow down after come like July is when we start to see a little bit of like a taper off a little bit, and then start to slow down up until December, and then we start to get busy again. So summer's the busiest time of year, but we're always a season behind or a season ahead of what the season actually is. So we start brewing our summer beer in February, and even though it doesn't get released until May, we start brewing it then because we make a ton of it in the course of 4 or 5 months. So and we have to make a lot of it up front and send it to our distributors before, and they need to have a sufficient supply of it before they release it, because that way they can guarantee that they're not going to run out of it. It's more just for momentum
Okay.
we can't just send them 100 cases and then they run out, and then accounts ask them when are you going to get more summer blind? Like, well, not till next week. It's like, okay, well then I'll get something else, and then they lose interest. So we need to build them up, build their inventory up, build our distributors' inventory up, so that way they have roughly 5,000 cases to release with, and that way that gives them enough of a buffer. And then we just slowly, after they have that buffer and they start releasing, then we just feed them a constant 400 cases, 500 cases a week for the next 3 months or so.
Oh wow.
And goes the same thing with kegs too. Same idea behind it. But
is this the bottling line that we're looking at?
this is the bottling line. Yeah. So the first machine on your right, the tour guide is standing right in front of, is the bottle rinser. So bottles get fed onto the conveyor and then go through the bottle rinser. The bottles get grabbed and flipped upside down and rinsed with water. And the main purpose of that is just to cool the bottles down. The bottles are already sanitized when they get delivered, so it's nothing to do with sanitation really, but it's just to rinse out the bottles. rinse out the bottles and also cool them down, because the bottles will fill a lot better if they're cool.
Okay.
If they're dry, and especially in the summertime, if they're a little bit warm, trailers of bottles get delivered. We get 90,000 bottles delivered a week.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
So it's like 3,700 cases worth of bottles, and but they're sitting on trailers for a day or two at a time. Each time we get a delivery. So if those bottles are hot, if they don't go through a bottle rinser that cools the bottles down, the bottles will, when they get filled with beer, the beer is just going to foam, and we're going to have a lot of beer loss. So that's the primary purpose of the rinser, is to cool the bottles down, so that way we get good fills and don't waste too much beer.
So Toaster's also asking, is there anything you can say about the fermenters and stuff are made? I don't mean stuff are made. Is it all mechanized, or does some poor guy have to hand weld it all together?
They are welded. We do get all of our anything that's still, so anything that doesn't have moving parts, we actually get manufactured in China, believe it or not, because you'll get the same quality of a tank in China that you will in the U.S., but you'll pay 4 times as much for a tank in the U.S. as you will in China.
Okay.
Anything with moving parts, I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't. We would get in the U.S. anything with gears or anything like that, but just as far as a fermenter, just a tank.
It's just stainless steel.
It's just stainless steel welded together. So that's bought from China. We have a manufacturer in China that we've had a relationship with for a few years, and the owners of the company have actually flown out to the U.S. specifically to visit River Horse, and so
cool.
And there's been like 6 of them,
great.
6 of the higher ups of the company that makes our stainless steel tanks, and they've been out to visit our facility, and they're great, accommodating us and seeing what our needs are and everything like that. But yeah, it's all stainless steel as far as the material goes, and I don't know if it's all hand welded. I assume. I mean, there's not much welding involved in a fermenter. There's welding to attach the legs to the vessel itself.
Right.
All the tanks are jacketed, so there's a thin layer in between where glycol runs through the coolant to keep the tanks cool. But I don't think there's a whole lot of welding that is involved in creating those tanks. It's more just the metal and forming the metal to the shape of the tank.
Okay. He's still talking about the bottom line here, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So we moved down. We went past the bottle, the filler and the crowner. That puts the crowns on the bottles, and then now he's in front of the labeler.
Yep. Oh. He must be in a dark spot, or what was it?
Yeah, he might be. The machine's pretty cool. It's a very old labeler, but when it's maintained well, it runs very efficiently, and it's we use glue for all of our bottles. We don't use labels that have already like a sticky, like a press-on label. It's paper labels that are lithographed, and they get a thin layer of glue applied to the back of them, and they get pressed onto plates, and then the labels are grabbed off the plates by a couple of teeth, and then they get pressed onto the labels, or pressed onto the bottles, I mean.
Okay.
So it's a cool process to see the label running and everything, but it's a very old school way of doing it, but it works. It works for us.
It works out well. But for cans, the cans you actually get printed up, and they deliver you the cans.
Yeah. Yep.
All with the label already in there, printed up.
Yeah,
so
It's
no need
it's
to
printed.
worry
It's
about.
printed right on the metal of the can. They come delivered on there without the tops on them, and then the tops get applied once they're filled. But yeah.
And actually, if you guys want to see what that was like, I actually on Twitter, I'll have to go see if I can find it, and I can show you the tweet. But if you go to our Twitter, Escape Time Twitter, you can actually go see the canning process. You know, because I posted the video.
Right.
That
Yeah.
I took the other day.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So you want to see what that looks like? You know, that's.
Looks like they're heading back to the tasting room.
Oh,
now.
They're heading back to where we are. I'm gonna get Gabe's opinion on his first brewery tour. Oh, frozen.
Should be getting better as you get closer, I would assume.
Yeah. It might just be his phone. It could be worse. And they're coming in the door right now. I can see him walking. Yeah. Those are the I think those are cans or.
There's some. There's you can see that actually like the 12 packs. Then there's some cans that were in the warehouse too throughout the tour.
Of course, Gabe the entire tour was the guy with the camera. Look at all those bottles.
There's my office.
That's your office.
That's
now?
my office. Yep.
Slam the door on him, see what he does. He's like, I can't
It's my
get in.
office. Yeah.
That's his office. Yeah. Your data was getting choppy there after a little bit. It was, yeah. I think so, yeah. Yeah. Oh, we can shut down if you want. It doesn't really matter. That's cool. Yeah. So what do you think of your first brewery tour?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Thirsty though.
Did you look?
This makes me thirsty.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
Makes me thirsty every day.
Yeah, working here. It's trouble right there.
Every day I think I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get done with work and I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna do a bunch of stuff and then
Right.
right around 3 o'clock, the day goes on and and you have to walk by
all the beer
by taps every single when you on your way out the door every day. It's like
trouble
maybe
after a
just
while.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny because he was like, yeah, there's a percentage of ones that don't meet the, don't meet the quality of the 12 ounces.
Yeah.
I was like, what do you do with those? I was like, first thing out my mouth. Flip down up here, says, are you hiring? He's like, that's the VR. I was like,
You guys could probably take some home for sure.
Ah, man. That's funny as hell.
first thing I saw a whole bunch of milk stats. I was like, are you hiring?
Can I take this home with me? Do you feel like you're educated eyes or whatever it is? Yeah. But this is your first brewery tour, so yeah. So what do you think of the whole process as he was explaining to you?
It's crazier than I thought it was for some reason.
Okay.
I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, I knew the amount of ingredients could vary greatly based on what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Doing that to you. So you're doing the whole talking real fast there. So.
Yeah, so I thought the tour is awesome. It was, like I said, it's more to the effect of, I knew it had like the base 4 ingredients.
Right.
I knew you had to cook them, let them sit, mix them with some other shit, and then bottle it.
Technical terms.
The technical
some
terms.
other shit.
But
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Make some shit with some other shit, and
Right,
then,
but like-
and then you drink. And it's time to drink.
right,
Yeah.
but like the actual process itself, the amount of equipment that it takes to do it correctly.
Oh, yeah.
The byproducts, how they actually, the way you guys are doing it is completely awesome. How it benefits a local farmer, like to me that's awesome. Like I never knew, I knew it had to be some kind of byproducts, but I didn't know what you would do with them. I mean, do you just bag it up and toss it on the curb type of thing?
Yeah, I mean,
So-
it works out better as far as far as like the grain and like
grain,
getting
yeah.
rid of the grain. Yeah, we
Right.
I mean, yeah, if we it works out better for both of us, for both the brewery and the farmers, because the farmers get free feed for their cows and they're
Right.
mostly for their cows, and they give some to their pigs too if they have pigs. But so it works out well for them. I mean, all they have to do is pay the fuel to pick it up,
Yeah.
and at a time. But if we didn't have them picking it up for us, then we would have to pay for all the disposal fees to get rid of it.
Right, and that's
And
a lot of grain.
That'd be a lot of money. Yeah,
Lot
I mean,
Ton of grain.
in our busiest seasons, I mean, we put out, I'd say, in the around 15 to 20 tons a week, something like that of grain. And it's it's wet grain, so it's it's wet. It's not all dry,
Right,
but
yeah,
it's wet, so that adds a lot to the weight, and that would cost a lot. And but instead it's takes
Pretty
a
minimal.
half hour of one employee to help load a farmer, and the farmer benefits from it, and we
Honestly,
benefit from not having to pay for it.
That's
so it's
something
great.
I've never thought about, and how awesome that is that
Yeah.
you guys do that. Yeah, seriously, like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's cool.
But the process itself, like I mean, the 100-barrel ones versus the 40s and stuff,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know what happens to the yeast, the dead yeast, the kind of just hanging out, and then recarbonizing everything.
Yep.
It was just more than I thought it was, honestly.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's complicated. Like when to take it all in, it's the whole process. But it's cool. It's cool to you can wrap your head around it.
Yeah.
And it's very.
Now I got
cool.
ideas for new beers now.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I got some ideas now.
for sure. For sure. Yeah.
I got better ideas for Crip Mode the beer.
Yeah, there you go.
It was interesting. Brad and I were talking about when we came here. I was talking about doing this originally. When I was in Alaska Brewing Company, since they're landlocked, you can't get in by car.
Okay.
They were shipping their grain by boat, because the only way you can get to Juneau, where Alaskan Brewing Company is, by boat or by plane.
Right.
You can't drive there. There's roads there, and we have actually like pictures of like end of road.
Yeah.
You can't get anywhere else on this island. This is it. Right? You're done. They actually have a system that they take the spent grain and use it. They dry it out and they use it as fuel to cook the next beer.
Really?
Yeah. So instead of sending it
Sending it back to a
majority
farm,
of
right.
breweries do,
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
sending it to a farm, for cattle or whatever cows to eat. I mean, it's a great thing for them to eat, right? Because think how great their milk tastes, So, right.
I've had beef that are beef
Grain-fed.
that are grain fed. Yeah, grain
grain-fed.
fed to beef cows from one of the farmers that picks up grain from us, and it's great. The beef is great, and then so I think it's awesome if you're able to do that. But in a situation like Alaskan Brewing Company, then it's
Got no choice.
way different. They can't do anything else.
Right.
And like they can either they can send their grain to farms, but they're most of the time spending, paying the money or the farms would be paying the money to get it from that, they ship it onto a boat to do that.
It's a lot of cash, and it's a lot of
So it's a lot of money involved. So
But
it's a much more efficient way to use the grain in their situation. But it's pretty cool.
But they're not. Obviously, we're not landlocked here in Jersey.
No, we're
So,
fine.
you're able to ship it out to different cattle.
Yeah.
Farmers
Oh, yeah.
just do their
And it's not
Right.
freezing all the time either.
No, Juneau's actually not that bad. I was in Juneau for like 5-6 weeks when I was working, traveling a lot. It was beautiful up there. And if you guys have never been to Alaska at all, go to Alaska for Christ's sakes. But it's a good time. I do like it. But so you like your first tour?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Good, man.
I even asked the guy who did first thing I saw was the mural. First thing I saw as soon as we left that main area.
Oh yeah, the graffiti on the
Yeah,
back
I
wall.
was like, did the mural. He was like, oh, it's a guy that does. I was like, 'cause I know a guy that does murals,
Oh, okay.
and his
Yeah.
murals, seriously, top of the line. You might know.
Who?
Will.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he did that.
Yeah. Oh, that's all he does.
Oh.
He is a pure genius of an artist.
Yeah. Nice.
Seriously, if you guys ever want anything painted, let me know. I'll try to get you connected with him because he's been all over now. He was doing a lot of murals. He worked for an organization in Trenton.
Oh, okay.
The art organization.
Oh, very cool.
That was
Yeah.
doing like the art, the
awesome.
art nights.
Nice.
He was doing murals to kind of stop the BS that was being put on random walls. He's actually making like actual artistic murals and stuff with him and his crew.
That's cool.
He actually got commissioned to do stuff in Cali, so he was in Cali for a few weeks or a few months or so.
Right.
Came back. He's been in Connecticut recently doing some walls and murals and paintings for different organizations and companies and stuff.
That's great.
He's been working
Good
with
for him, man.
Yeah, he's been working with education companies that are more creative based
Yeah. Yeah.
to say, hey, you have artists like feed their artistic talents. Don't just be like, oh, you're an artist, so you can do websites. No, that's bullshit. You know, like artists
Yeah.
don't really do websites. They
Right.
and not everyone's gonna be in an art gallery.
Yeah.
To sell their paintings at $4,000 a pop or whatever it is.
Right.
Um,
Right.
But he's been awesome. His brain is on some other, he's like on an ethereal plane type of shit.
Yeah.
Like he's nuts, absolutely nuts. But that's what I saw.
Watching these guys do the pieces in the back too.
Yeah.
It was cool because they videotaped a lot of it, and I think it's probably on their website. But
Yeah.
Green Villain's the name of the group. A couple of the artists together that do it. But it was cool seeing them do everything. It's just crazy. Like he just looks and he just started drawing a couple little lines here and there for the background of it, and then all of a sudden he just wiped the whole wall, and it was.
Oh wow.
Ready to go.
It is what it is now. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's nuts
it was
watching
cool seeing
artists do their work because most people are trained from a left to right perspective of things.
Right.
Artists will look at it from right to left, up to down to right, and then they'll do diagonal. They're like, all right, diagonally, I know it meets this space.
Right.
And they'll put in these little markers and stuff. In their head, they've had the whole thing drawn out already,
Yeah.
layer by layer.
Right.
It's just awesome when you see stuff like that.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I even asked, he was like, yeah, we use the barter system pretty well here. I was like, yeah. I was like, they started from right to left, didn't they? Because I was looking at the art.
There was one thing, they were here for an event maybe a year and a half after we opened here, and all that stuff was already up there. And they had a stencil, Green Villain stencil, up on the left, upper left-hand corner of that wall that they got up on a ladder during the event and spray painted on the stencil Green Villain. They just tagged it with Green Villain's name, but everything else was still up there. It was already up there for a while, and they're like, oh, we have the stencil. We didn't put our name on it at all, and
nice.
they just kind of did it for
They're
us.
like,
And they're like, let's just do it real quick. And
Yeah.
That's awesome.
it was funny. Yeah.
Do you think that one beer is chilled?
Should be.
You
Yeah.
wanna check?
Yeah. Let me
We'll check.
let me
Let's see
let me give it a check real quick. One second. What's up, man? How's the cast? It's going
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Very well. Yeah. Got one of those. Oh yeah.
People using the viewfinders.
Cool enough, I think.
That's crazy they did that.
It's the beer's all right if it's a little bit not too cold or not. Yeah.
Stouty stout.
Stouty stout.
Oh yeah.
Is it cold enough, you think?
Should be. It's cool. You want to wait a little bit
It's
longer?
up to you. You know best.
I think it's cool enough, especially being as dark of a beer it is. I think it
do
might
it.
actually be more enjoyable when it's a little bit
Yeah.
not super cold.
A little room temperature. Grab the mic back.
Was that? Yeah.
Your turn. Switch. House party. There you go. Right. This is a bit different than the other one.
What's that?
No, just the mic itself. Apparently I'm missing something on the other mic.
Grab a bottle opener.
Yeah, cool. Shit, I got a bottle opener. My
Excuse me one second.
my keys. Done it.
I'll bring it back, I promise. Yeah, you're right. One thing about wax bottles,
Oh, it's a pain in the butt to get off.
they're a little bit of a pain. It is worth it though.
Oh yeah. You guys can see it's gotten a bit busier. I mean, it's busy throughout the day, but yeah. What time do you guys close at normally on Saturdays and Sundays?
So we're open from noon to 7 on Saturdays.
Okay,
Sundays is just noon to 5.
gotcha.
Almost had it.
Oop.
little small batch. You can smell that. That smells good.
You smell it already?
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as I opened it, I could smell it.
Yeah, you can smell that big time. Oh yeah. Ooh,
Sir?
No problem, man.
you're gonna like this.
Yeah. You know I'm gonna do a charity stream.
Hey dude, just because you have a little shot glass of beer doesn't mean it. That is so good.
I got cold enough,
Yeah.
I think.
What do you think?
So this is the bourbon barrel aged imperial stout, 12% aged in Woodford Reserve barrels for about a year.
For a year.
About a year. Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it was like 11 months, maybe 11 and a half months, but just say a year, just to be. Get the
But you're good. It doesn't really
pizza
matter.
out of the way and shit. Yeah. But yeah, this turned out nice. It was the biggest beer that we ever made, for sure.
Getting like a good picture of this thing.
There you go. Yeah, this beer just did one brew of it. So you guys who saw the tour, saw the brew kettle and the brew
Right.
kettles and everything. Usually, for any kind of beer that we do, to fill one of the 40 barrel fermenters, we would have to do 2 brews on that system, on that brew system, to fill one of those 40 barrel fermenters. So it's a 20, usually like a little bit more than the 20 barrel brew twice, and then with loss and everything like that, when you fill the tank, it ends up being about 40 barrels.
Oh wow.
That fills the tank. We did one brew on that system, was about 27 barrels, which is pretty much maxing out that system, what it's capable of doing. And it was over like 2,000 pounds of grain total just for that one brew. So
Jesus Christ.
it was super close to wort and grain, spilling out of the lauter tun or out of the mash tun at first, then out of the lauter tun as well. So it was the biggest beer that we ever did, and we wanted it to be big because we wanted to achieve that alcohol content.
Yeah.
So like for the imperial stout, and we didn't want to use any dextrose in it as well. We wanted it to be all grain without adding any sugars in there at all, like we do with our triple horse.
Because the yeast eats the sugars of whatever the wort is, basically, the end of it, and then creates the alcohol. So the more sugar you have in it, the more alcohol content it will create.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
And I love the fact that every single River Horse beer has this. It's this almost all of them have this unique, like little, like hippo, to
Yeah.
it, you
Yeah.
know. Like the raspberry has the hippo, the general hippo that you have, the one that's on your shirt there.
Right.
Yeah, but it has a beret on it.
Yeah.
You
yeah.
know, this one.
This
one's sitting in a
hasn't
barrel.
seen it, and it has a beret on it. It's a raspberry beer.
Yeah.
I think a raspberry beret. Little shout out to Prince. If,
Yeah.
Little tip of the hat. But yeah. Yeah.
The one thing I actually like also that he mentioned was moving from Lambertville to here
Right.
kept you guys within the same realm with the same water supply.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
for
really?
Sure.
It didn't change the water supply moving from Lambertville for here?
Not really. No. I mean, it's different municipalities, different townships, different water bill that we get our bill from. But it's it's Trenton water versus I guess it would be, I don't know if it would be Hunterdon County water or what, or if I don't know if Lambertville water was a thing or if it was something more generalized in that area. Probably not.
But to
Yeah.
get within the same water supply, 'cause like the guy that Chris was saying on the tour,
Yeah.
was the difference between Jersey pizza and Cali pizza is water.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Complete, like even you can go. You can go to the other side of Ohio and it's different pizza because
Yep.
Oh yeah.
of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I would have never thought about that until today.
Right.
As far as in brewing beers, like having beer being brewed in Lambertville for 3, 4, 5 years.
Yeah.
And then moved it here in 13.
Yeah.
And trying to duplicate everything.
Right.
Trying to duplicate things here with a different water supply.
No, the water definitely makes a difference. Like I know Triumph and New Hope, since New Hope is like the water itself is very iron hot. They from what when I talked to Brendan years and years ago about it, he actually says that what they do is they do a reverse osmosis to clarify a lot of the iron out of it.
Yeah.
You know, or even some of the sulfur that might be in it.
Yeah.
Because you don't want your beer smelling like weird eggs. The sulfur has
sure.
has that eggy type of thing.
Yeah.
But they reverse osmosis that beer to clarify the water. You know, at that point, you know. So, but you also got to think of like the beer that's being brewed in Colorado. You know, that's like fresh mountain water that's coming off like the slopes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
So water does make a difference. I mean, even when breweries are going from like the West Coast, I think that's why Asheville is so huge. You know, when it comes down to different types of beers, the breweries that are setting up shop there, because the water consistency is similar to what they have either in California or in the Midwest or whatever. You know, it's actually quite interesting to see where they choose their location based on because of the water content. As
Yeah.
well. So,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, those guys in BrewDog, they're opening up like a sour. There was an article we were talking about the other week. It was a sour. It's a hotel with a sour beer brewery.
Really?
But BrewDog is open in Ohio.
Okay.
It's in motherfucking Ohio, right? I mean,
That's crazy.
what's in Ohio other than Cleveland's got a pretty good beer scene, but
Yeah.
they went there specifically for the water kind, like the
Right.
water consistency or whatever they were brewing. So, at least that's mine.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool they're doing that. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
I mean, I've when I heard they were setting up a hotel, I was like, all right, that's interesting. You know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, but why in Ohio? You know, again, the only reason I can think of is because of the water.
Right.
You know, but,
I guess so. Yeah.
yeah. What do you think of that beer?
It's good.
Yeah.
I like the oatmeal one better.
You like the oatmeal one better? Well, to each his own. I mean, you can definitely smell the bourbon and taste the bourbon. I mean, it's there. You said you have a keg of this somewhere?
Yeah.
So what are you going to do with that keg? Or can you not tell?
No, I mean we have a couple kegs of it. I have one that we're not. It's a partial keg. It's like not completely filled that we're not really gonna do.
Okay.
We're not gonna sell it to anybody because it's not full. But probably just drink it here, maybe.
Why not?
Maybe save it for our Christmas party or something. But
Right.
but yeah, something along those lines. Anytime we have like anytime we have a beer like a sixtel or something limited that we did, kind of just hang on to it, and over the course of the year we get a few of them.
Okay.
A few different one-off beers that we did throughout the course of the year, and then we have our Christmas party, and we
Just crack them all open.
tap them all. And then
So, are you guys? I guess that makes me ask. Philly Beer Week's coming up in May.
Yep.
Are you guys doing anything special for Philly Beer Week?
the sour, the berry sour is probably going to be something that will be featured there,
Okay.
since it'll be released right around that time.
And that's why I asked what you were doing the other kegs. You're
Yeah.
saving it for like a party you guys are having, or like you're
It'll probably
going
just
to
be
a certain like.
Yeah, it'll be saved because we have other kegs saved up. Like we have a keg. We did a cranberry sour in this past year.
Right.
We've done it 2 years in a row. We weren't able to get cranberries this year because cranberries are usually harvested or like in like the spring sometime, like early spring. So we weren't able to get our hands on cranberries this year.
Oh, wow.
But the past 2 years we did a cranberry sour. So we usually just save it for holiday party, or if some kind of event comes up where they need something special, and if we have it, we'll give it to them. And,
Yeah.
So we just kind of hang on to it for things like that, for specialty events like that, or just for us.
Makes sense.
If a Christmas party rolls around and it's been sitting in our warehouse for
A little bit. You've been
6 or 7
storing it for a
months,
little while.
like it's not getting any better sitting on it.
Oh,
It's not getting any better sitting on it, so might as well drink it.
Road
for
Rage,
sure.
thank you for the follow. I do appreciate that. For some reason, the follower alerts and all that stuff isn't working, so I'm not really sure why, but cheers for the follow. I appreciate that. I don't know. It might have been when we booted up again. We
Maybe,
lost power, like because my little follower cup thing here.
When you spill beer.
No, I'm not gonna spill beer on this bad boy. The fact that this has crumbs on it, I'm actually kind of worried. Expensive laptop.
Just a little air spray.
Yeah. You know. Oh man. Yeah, Philly Beer Week is always interesting because breweries bring out like their different beers that they want
Yeah.
holding on. You know.
Yeah, Philly Beer Week's always fun. I think that the sour is going to be something that we'll probably feature. We might feature the raspberry triple as well.
Okay.
Especially if we're going to plan on. I don't know for sure if we're going to do that, but if we are going to release it again in
Right.
July or August, then that might be something that we might hang on to a 6-0 and release and port during Philly Beer Week, and then
Sure.
get people excited for it again, and then
Oh, yeah.
and then we'll release it a month or two later.
And in the
So,
summer, I mean that's perfect for like a raspberry triple
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah,
You're
definitely.
sitting out there, it's freaking hot as hell, and next thing you know,
You're drinking 10% beers and that don't taste like 10% beers. But
no,
they,
it doesn't.
They,
It doesn't at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah, right. Oh, gee, this is fantastic. Rehydrating all the point. I'm good. Now I'm gonna lift the car.
Yep.
Oh, jeez, man, that's funny as hell. This is a treat, though. I do appreciate that, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah.
Stouty
The
Stout,
old stouty stout.
small batch, Imperial, 12%, 12%.
Yep.
Bourbon barrel aged, Stouty Stout. And again, when you cracked that, I could smell it. I was just like,
Yeah. As soon as I was able to get underneath the wax and crack open the cap, I could.
it just hit
I
you.
could smell the bourbon for sure. Yeah.
Man, it's a good beer. Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to taste. I mean, we got a couple other beers in the tap room that are newer.
Okay.
Not as new as the raspberry triple, but the hypnotizing IPA is a predominantly mosaic dry hopped IPA.
Okay.
7.5%, so it's not crazy like the last couple beers that we've had, but still a very, very nice IPA.
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
Very nice IPA. It's been pretty popular so far, and has had a pretty good demand in all of our markets since we released it. So
Okay. That'd be tasty.
yeah,
Oh man, he does this. He's good at advertising. I'm not. He used to be in sales, so the people are confused. They're like, "How are you?"
hello.
Yeah, so he actually goes around. He's better promoting me than I am promoting me. This is great. When we were at Isaac's, he was out there handing out cards and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I was just drinking beer and just hanging out. So
Nice.
you know, I should give him give him free beer. He'll be fine.
Yeah,
You
right.
know?
It's all right. Yeah. Just having fun.
Oh man, that's fun shit. Man, it's a bit warm out. Yo, what's up, Crowded Kitchen? How are you? Having a few pints yourself? Nice, man. Awesome. guys, if you have any questions, obviously just ask away. We can answer them as we go. We're hanging out, drinking some of the River Horses beers throughout the day. Obviously, we've been here since noon. Probably go for a little bit while longer before I might get in trouble. I need to go home eventually. And the missus. There we go. I'm just gonna. There we go. It's fuzzy. Either it was fuzzy or it's just like how I normally look. So, yeah. Just some Bud, nothing fancy. Well, hey man, everybody's got their own choice for beer, man. I can't. You choose what you choose. But if I can convince you to drink something a little bit different, by all means. So, yeah. Thank you for hanging out, though.
For sure.
Yeah, Crowded Kitchen's
Definitely don't discriminate against some Bud or some Coors Banquet or anything like that. That's all right.
I mean, the thing is with the show that we do is like we won't do any of the macro breweries. None of the beers that are featured on there are macro. So
right.
it's everything is craft beer. So and Road Rage, if you're interested, we're actually going to be starting up a beer trade within the people followers of the channel as well. So that's one of the features coming on very soon. So. We're actually probably going to have an episode not next week and probably not the 12th because I think that's the birthday stream. I'm turning an unspecified age. But probably 3 weeks from now we're going to be doing a stream specifically around the beer trade. I talked with actually met with you were probably there. Were you there on Wednesday? I think maybe you were. I don't know. Just when I was streaming?
Yeah.
Right. Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, mate. I actually just met with the guys that own this one app.
Right. Yep. What's up, man?
The beer exchange app. So they're actually willing to work with us to actually be officially partnered as far as facilitating beer trades between members of the stream followers of the stream.
That's cool.
So it's quick and easy way for us to people to sit there and say, hey, I want to be able to trade beer. I don't have people across the country or across the world to do it.
Right.
We've got guys who watch the stream that are from Norway, from England, all over. So if you're ever interested in trying different beers, definitely come back on Wednesdays. We will be here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. But yeah, I have less hair to worry about.
I know my hat was bothering me on the brims on your side. I'm gonna take it off for a little while.
What's up, Crowded Kitchen man? How you doing? He was doing something with his cider last night. So yeah.
Nice.
So did you want to try some of the other beers that are on tap, or
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Might as well. Yeah.
Okay. Do some samples of them.
What do you think? We'll do the hypnotizing IPA.
Yeah.
About that? Yeah, I'll
Sounds
bring
like
over
a
a couple
plan.
samples. Yeah.
All right, Brad's gonna grab that
You want
for us.
full ones or
No,
samples?
because I gotta drive home.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
So grab one for Gabe too, so you can yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm guessing that's what you're waiting
Good
for.
day.
Yes.
The hypnotizing IPA.
We're halfway there. Sorry, so you open that, I didn't think about it.
No, that's all right. Yeah. I'll wait for him to come back.
And when we
Yeah.
call it quits in a little bit here, we'll
Oh boy. You need help?
bring over cups. He's getting one out of somewhere.
Are you getting the hypnotizing, or is somebody else?
Bourbon stout.
Okay.
It's awesome. So basically, here we'll give a real quick recap. River Horse Stouty Stout. It's a very small batch stout that we were able to, that Brad actually brought out for us, which is kind of cool. It is a bourbon barrel stout. A Burley Imperial Aged Bourbon Barrel Stout. Small batch, about 12%. Got this lovely guy here on the cover here, right? You can actually smell like the bourbon just like seeping out of this thing. As soon as he cracked this wax seal, you see the wax seal here. All right, you can smell the bourbon just coming out. But yeah, it's really tasty. A bunch left in there. Oh man, really amazing stuff. So again, we're lucky enough to have the guys at River Horse bring out the Stouty Stout for us. You know, first time I ever had this one. It's a very limited series, small batch that they do. You can get it where they distribute, or possibly when we actually do the beer exchange. I'm not sure how many more of these have. I'll have to ask. Maybe I can get one or two. So, they're actually bringing over another beer right now.
Waiting just a minute. He's changing the keg.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, brother. They're changing the keg. They're going to give us the, I forget what this is, the Hypnotized IPA?
You all right?
Gabe's doing this thing over there. So how late do you do the tour still?
Last tour goes off at 6:15 on Saturdays.
Okay.
Sundays, last tour is at 4:15, so we're open noon to 7 Saturdays, noon to 5 Sundays.
Okay.
And Fridays we don't do tours, but we do, flights and everything like that. Also open noon to 7 on Fridays, but just no tours. But
Okay.
Otherwise, it's the same deal
Yeah.
for first sheet beer and things like that.
I forgot my water outside. I'm gonna rinse out and get a sip of water before I get the IPA, because otherwise I'm only gonna taste this bourbon IPA. It'll be good. So, if you guys haven't followed by the way, make sure you click that follow button. We are here every Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hanging out. And we do the only beer review show on Twitch. So, come hang out with us. You know,
Sure.
Drink beer, grab a beer. We do beer reviews and all sorts of different stuff. So, and every once in a while we do stuff like this, which is nice. We go out to breweries, go out to tap takeovers, or we just brew beer like we did last weekend.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was
Special
awesome to see you
episode
guys
type
do
stuff.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good fun.
Got to follow him on Twitch, because then as soon as he goes live, you'll get a notification on your phone or tablet and anything like that, so you'll be updated right away. But got to.
Now, did you ever watch? Do you watch Twitch before you found out about the show at all?
No, I never did.
See,
Yeah.
I'm going to a new market here. So anybody from Twitch watching?
Tell you what,
I'm bringing
tell you
people
what,
in, man. I'm bringing people in. So that's what it comes down to.
It's cool. It is very cool. It's
Ever
an awesome
area,
idea.
stop by River, but they have the guy in the gray jacket guy.
Yes. Yes.
That's funny as hell.
Where is he? He's a lazy bum. Is what he is.
Oh, boo. No, he's not. He looks like he's busy all the time. Expect nothing less, Toaster. Expect nothing less from you.
That's funny.
Shit. Hey, man. No, definitely come. If you're ever in the New Jersey area, in Ewing area, we're very close to Trenton here, very close to Princeton. Definitely stop by River Horse Brewing Company. It's a fun time to come here. You get a nice tour. If you didn't get a chance to watch the tour, we sent Gabe, who's over there talking stuff. He's always talking everything. He just doesn't stop talking sometimes, but it's good. But we actually did a quick tour of the brewery. Sent Gabe on a tour. He never did a tour before, so a brewery tour. So it's his first time ever doing a brewery
God,
tour.
shut the hell up.
But anyway, if you didn't get a chance to watch the brewery tour,
I'm not. I
we
guess
will
you
be
didn't hear
doing
me.
highlights the whole time.
I said, I'm guessing you didn't hear me. I was like,
You can
oh,
always
just
go back
shut
and
the
watch
hell
the
up.
previous this broadcast. And we might drop this
Obviously,
on
I'm
YouTube
kidding.
eventually. All right, so Brad's bringing over the Hypnotize. Hypnotize or
Hypnotizing.
hypnotizing?
Like hypnotizing, but
Hypnotizing. Okay.
but hippo instead.
It's almost like grassy.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, very
Like-
grassy.
like in
There's a predominant scent of mosaic hops. There's a lot of mosaic hops in it.
Oh, so I mean,
Definitely dry hop with mosaic.
there was a beer recently released by Rheingeist or something like that. The brewing
Okay.
company that would use mosaic.
Okay.
I did an interview with my friend Russ,
Yeah.
who owns Craft Cans.
Craft cans. Yep.
And I was talking to him about that beer. I don't think I've ever had anything with mosaic before.
Mosaic's becoming something that's still kind of hard to get, but it's
Okay.
the hop is not hard to get, but it's in high demand. So
Right.
there's a lot of farmers that are growing a lot more mosaic hops to accommodate for it, and it's okay. It's okay so far, but it's becoming a very popular hop to use in a lot of
Okay.
beers right now, and it's more of a. It's got some citrus notes to it for sure. Definitely some some more like grapefruit notes more than any other kind of like citrus, but as is with a lot of kinds of hops. But it's also got a little bit of sweetness to it too, which is nice.
Yeah.
It's used in a lot of more like higher ABV beers that tend to come with that sweetness regardless. But it's good. It turned out to be a very nice IPA. We dry hop it with 88 pounds of mosaic per
Oh God.
per tank for like a 40 barrel tank. And so if we do bigger tanks, it'll be 2.5 times more than that for a dry hop.
Okay.
But for a 40 barrel fermenter, it would be 88 pounds of mosaic in the dry hop. But
That's a lot of mosaic.
it is.
But it's a great taste to it. That's like I said. It smells like not earthy, but like I don't know really how to describe the scent of it. Like originally I described it as grassy, but I mean not like fresh cut grass, but it's just like
No. Yeah, it's something got
earth. I mean that's the only like I don't know how maybe I'm just like describing it wrong.
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah, but I mean, however you smell it
Sure.
or taste it is definitely it's definitely you. There's no wrong opinion or wrong review about it or anything like that. So, but it's but yeah, I mean that's one of the characteristics of it is more a little more grassy. It's got some citrus notes to it. For me anyway, and I think it's described as as being a little bit of a citrusy hop, and
Right.
depending on how you use it too. You use it during the boil and more for aroma and everything. But then we do something different with, not totally different, but it's a new technique for us as far as dry hopping goes. Where a lot of breweries, what they'll do is they'll bring it, they'll let a beer ferment. Once it's done fermenting, they'll crash the beer, which means they'll bring it from fermenting temperature down to 32 degrees. Then they will dry hop it. They'll dry hop it one time. What we've done and what we actually learned that some other breweries will do as well is once the beer's almost pretty much done fermenting at 68 degrees or so, we'll bring it down to 60 degrees. So it's still a little bit warm. Dry hop it once. Do another addition a day later. Then condition it down to 32 degrees. And we find that that method of dry hopping of the different temperature changes and different stages brings out more citrus notes to it that people find more appealing in a lot of IPAs, especially now, more currently. People find that more appealing as the more citrusy notes rather than the more dry, like.
And I think that's the trend that's coming with the New England style.
Yeah.
IPAs.
And that's kind of what partially like what influenced us to change the way that we dry hop beer. So probably a year ago we changed every time whenever we dry hop a beer, whatever it is, we do it that same method where we bring it to 60 degrees, dry hop it twice, bring it down to 32, and then let it condition everything out, rather than letting it condition down to 32 degrees and then dry hopping it like we used to. You just get, with that little bit of heat, you got a little bit more out of the hops
you draw out a little more of the oils
Yeah.
during the hops.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, when it's a little bit warmer.
I mean, if you're using pellets, it's not necessarily. You're not drawing out the oils because the oils are condensed into it. But if you're doing
Yeah, they're
using
condensed.
fresh
I mean,
hops,
yeah. If you're using fresh hops for sure. I mean, but if you're even the pelletized hops, there's still all those oils in there that are that are still definitely there that you can get out of it, and you get a lot more aroma out of it too. The aromas totally changed too because we compared when we started doing that and before we started doing that, we compared the two beers from different stages of our time, and there's definitely a big difference side by side for sure. And with the latter, with the new method being better, so it was great that we changed over to that method.
when did you start brewing this beer?
We started doing this beer probably about a year ago.
Okay.
Close to a year ago, anyway. We spent a lot of time on this beer. It was a lot of fun making this beer hypnotizing. And originally, we were going to make it like a sort of more like a fruity, like tropical fruit IPA. And we were messing around with different kinds of tropical fruit, like passion fruit, dragon fruit, mango, things like that. And none of them really worked too much. Like none of them really gave us like a wow factor. We're like, yes, we have to definitely use this in a beer. Even like pineapple, things like that. Like even like more pungent fruits that we taste didn't really give us the notes that we wanted. So we focused more on just like what can we do, what kind of hop can we use. And we knew we wanted to use Mosaic. We didn't really know how much and how exactly to use them, whether it was more, whether it was bittering or all dry hop or both. And we landed on this, and I'm glad we went the way we did because it's just a well-made beer without still using just a good IPA, not with any extra fruit or anything like that. It's just a very good IPA, and like that different method of that new method of dry hopping also gave it some extra complexity and some tropical fruit notes that helped the beer out a lot, I think. So I think it was a long process to finally land on that. I think we were test batching this beer from February of last year until about May. So it was a good trial run before. A few trial runs before we finally decided on what the product is now. So
It's a long time to trial run a beer, just to get it out there.
We knew it was going to be something year round. It wasn't going to be a limited release. We knew it was going to be something that was going to be offered year round. And so when it's something like that, I mean, there's a lot of pressure to keep it, to make sure that it holds up all year round. It's not going to be like a 10% double IPA or 9% double IPA.
No.
That's people aren't going to want to drink in the summertime, and it's not going to be a session IPA that someone's going to only want to drink in the or other way around. You know what I mean?
I get you.
Higher ABV beer that people only want to drink in the winter, lower ABV beer that people only want to drink in the summer. But we wanted to meet that middle ground, get somewhere right in the middle where someone's going to always want this no matter what time of year it is. And I think we landed it pretty well with this beer. I think it's pretty good. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think someone just dropped
Cups.
about 100 cups behind me also.
At least in one glass cups. That's all it
Yeah, really.
could be
Lucinda. What's that?
Oh.
She called here?
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Trust me, I know what that means. Because I left the door.
She may be drunk.
I left the door open earlier at the house.
Yeah.
And texted me. The first thing was.
Nothing. Chris works in the tasting room. I'm on the webcast show right now, so you're on here.
Are you on there? If not, it's cool. You people watching when they're not logged on So there's two different things. People can log on, and they can watch
It's
us.
the same one that they gave you a couple weeks ago. All right.
What's a good April Fool's joke? I agree.
I will send you the website.
So let me see.
I'll send you a picture of it. All right. Is everything
Is
okay,
there
or are
any
you
part
okay?
of the brewing process that
All right, bye.
you change from the winter to summer brewing? You know what? I'm gonna say right now. I already know that the fact is it's a mess back there. Job opening. Never gonna be allowed in this place. Toaster probably not. No, like seriously. All right, so here's the deal with brewing summer and winter, right? It really comes down to styles, right? It also comes down to temperature control. If you're brewing a beer in the winter and you're brewing a beer in the summer, it doesn't really matter. It really comes down to the temperature control. You can brew a lager. Actually, is colder fermentation like temperature. So his question was: is there any part of the brewing process that you change during winter brewing to summer brewing? Any chemical requirements that require a change based on seasonal or temperature, or anything like that? But I think really you can brew a beer anytime around the year. You just got to keep it to whatever the temperature you requires for that yeast strain to be able to control the beer. So it's really temperature control
And
at that point.
That kind of thing pertains more to anyone who's home brewing because the conditions are less controlled. You're home brewing. You're trying to you're trying to ferment something in a glass carboy that in a garage or something like that, or in a closet, whatever it is. But so it's all about temperature. But in breweries that have better temperature control, you can. All of our tanks they're jacketed with glycol running through them constantly, and you can control the temperature of each tank that we have in our cellar. So as far as the time of year, for us it doesn't matter. But definitely for home brewing, you want to keep an eye on the temperature.
Yeah.
If you're trying to do a lager at home, definitely recommend doing it in the wintertime so you can ferment at a cooler temperature, because you want to ferment around like 50 degrees or so, and then condition for for another couple of weeks at least after it's done fermenting. Ales are a little bit better, but you still need to ferment around like 68 to 70 degrees. Yeah. And a good trick for anyone who's home brewing is to put if you have a glass carboy or whatever fermenter you're using, if it's not temperature controlled, any type of fermenting vessel that you have, put it in like a bin. So it doesn't have to be a crazy bin, just whatever, any kind of like plastic Rubbermaid bin or anything like that. Fill it up a quarter of the way with water, stick your carboy in it, and that water is going to absorb any outside temperature and it'll hold it for a while. And as you need to, if it gets too hot, if it gets too hot, maybe you can just add a little bit of ice. Yeah. And I don't think it's ever going to get too cold. If it gets too cold, then you can move it inside. But but especially if you're trying to home brew in the summertime, it gets pretty hot. So you can always just put it in water and just add ice to it as you need it, rather than just having the vessel sit by itself. Otherwise, it's going to get to 80 degrees and it's going to ferment too hot, and you're going to have issues with your beer later on. So that's a good hint that I actually picked up from Chris, the brewer who used to brew here.
Oh, wow.
Bartended at Isaac's.
Yeah.
He's the one who gave me that hint before I started working at Riverhorse.
I never even realized that, because like my brother Scott, where we were brewing his house the other weekend, he actually has a fermentation chamber. He built this he built a box. It's probably no longer than like from the end of this table to where you're sitting here.
Okay.
And it holds maybe three carboys of just 3 carboys.
Yeah.
But it's like an insulated chamber that he actually has a wood cutout on the end of it, and it has a fridge that's stuck
Oh, nice.
Yeah, like an old, like a college fridge.
Okay.
Type thing.
Yeah.
And then he has a digital thermometer that actually doing this thing. He actually has it so that you actually can control the. Hi. Anyway, so he actually has a digital thermometer that you actually can control the temperature, and like a heater, so that if it gets too cold, too hot,
Yeah.
it actually turns on and turns off and does whatever it needs to do to be able to control the temperature to the point where his basement in his house
Right.
it fluctuates a lot.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
for sure.
You know,
yeah.
and in the winter and summer, the temperature fluctuates tons. For his house. But so he needed this entire temperature, this whole chamber to stick his beer in, so that he can keep it at 70 degrees.
Yeah.
Year round.
Right.
Because we actually do wine. I actually do wine at my house as well.
Okay.
You
Nice.
know, and we actually just bottled our red and our white 2, 3, 4 weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
But he needed someplace to be able to keep it. Down in my basement, we don't necessarily need that fluctuation chamber. Anyway, we have an area where we can keep it in, and our basement doesn't have to worry about that fluctuation.
Yeah.
But to answer, long story short, based on the same question, I like this guy. He makes sense. And my dumbass of my dumbass questions. Yes, you're right. And Brad's a good guy, so and there's no dumbass questions.
There's no dumb questions.
There's no
man.
dumb questions.
You want to know something, you ask it.
Ask it,
That's how you
Yeah.
learn, man. That's nothing dumb about that.
I was saying you're out there doing your business. Yeah. And that there is that is the
That's the hypnotizing.
Hypnotizing
IPA.
Definitely lower alcohol.
7.5%, so not gonna kill you. That's,
That's 12. Yeah. It's nothing. Oh man.
Is the hypnotizing IPA?
Hypnotizing.
hypnotizing, yeah.
Hippotizing. 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 Yeah. What do you think?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
I still like the session versus this.
Well, it's probably
Session's nice.
hoppier and
I'll probably go back to that the
Yeah.
session.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's more. I hate the term dank. I don't like it.
No,
I don't know why.
I think the idea
But-
that someone uses
But
dank.
I know it's used a lot,
Yeah.
and more recently in the craft beer industry when it's when a beer is just, I don't know what other word to use to describe a beer that tastes like that, but a lot of people use the word dank, and I'm like, I guess it's dank. I don't know. I guess I just have to live with it. But I always hated that word. I always hated the term for it. But
Well, a lot of times, unfortunately, like dank is also used to describe marijuana.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Hops is a very close cousin to pot.
right.
Marijuana.
Right.
Right. I mean, so
Funk or no? Is it funk or is it a single cut? They make that dank and sticky
Yeah.
IPA. I forget. It's one of.
it's an homage to.
It's basically just
Yeah,
like
homage to
a
that.
little like a wink at them. Yeah.
Yes.
You could if you wanted to.
I actually was in Alaska, and a guy said, a friend of mine who still owes me moose jalapeno sausage, right? Cheddar moose jalapeno sausage, right? A friend of mine, right? He's from Alaska. We were trading stuff back and forth, right? And he said he had marijuana beer, and it screwed him up for like days.
Okay.
Really?
So yeah, like absolutely days.
Interesting.
So it was just like such a concentration of whatever that was.
Right.
It
Right.
just like knocked him on his ass for days. So
That's fine.
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's been a good time here. I appreciate it, Brad. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Dude, absolutely.
As far as
I love
as far
it.
as getting everything going. I mean, the fact that Gabe was able to go do his first brewing tour was awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
It's great.
You know, and we had some fantastic beers and tasted a bunch of different stuff. So, I think this is actually where we're gonna call it quits for today because eventually I need to get home to my wife. Otherwise, she's gonna hang me out to dry. I'm gonna be like by my toes hanging upside down. You still got the kind of thing that
I gotta play
Guns Icarus tonight for stack up.
and win for stack up.
Yeah. Are you gonna bring home some of the strip boards for yourself to drink while you're actually playing Guns Icarus?
I have to take a couple hours break, but yeah, I can do that.
There you go.
Grab a 6-pack and take it.
Do it, man. Do it. Yeah.
Play a couple games, get sobered up again, and get a couple wins, and
Then totally house everything.
just house it up. Yeah.
House shit out of it. That game we played at PAX, you had like four people running around like a ship.
Yeah.
And someone's driving, and then the other people are manning manning the different posts. And one's like the engineer. You actually can heal the ship and whatnot as people are shooting at you on another ship. Other 4 people shooting at you, trying to knock the ship out of the sky, right? So, you got people running around. And then when I was doing the demo, I was sitting there, it's like, what if I fall off? He's like, well, you have to try out. So at PAX, I'm sitting there like, I'm shooting stuff. It's like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna jump off the ship. And I just jumped off the ship. So, and then they actually spawn you back on the ship.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Right.
It's a nice little, to me, it's more of a teamwork multiplayer game.
Yeah.
When you play at Call of Duty, it's you,
Yeah.
and you're trying to get your kills off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you capture point A, B, C, whatever it is.
It's definitely teamwork involved in
But
it.
there's a lot more teamwork because you got one guy just flying it around, whether he's going forward or backwards, trying to flank it, whether we're getting flanked, whatever.
Right.
And you got to rely on gunners and engineers to keep the ship apart, keep it together, keep it from falling apart.
That's awesome.
Wait, which guy, Toaster? Apparently some guy was staring at the camera for like 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who it was. Someone behind you.
I was chit-chatting with people. There was a guy that actually had been a photographer for USA Sport.
Oh, nice.
And was starting to, and even heard about the esports buzz.
Oh, wow.
And was, I don't know if he was one of the people that picked or being picked soon for esports coverage.
Oh, wow.
So I told him about the international in Seattle.
Yeah,
Started
yeah.
stuff down. He took my card and your card, and he was like, "I'll definitely want to check it out." So
Yeah, definitely.
And he also confirmed that in Phoenixville, there's a couple of breweries people we need to check out. So.
Guy in the guy standing behind you in the black jacket right here.
Is it?
Yeah. It's just
That it was.
other random people in the background. I just stopped. No, do whatever you want to do, Toaster. It doesn't matter, man.
Toaster gets past everything.
He does. Brad, I just want to thank you, man.
Dude,
Thank you for having us here.
absolutely, man. No problem. Anytime.
I do appreciate it,
Anytime.
man.
Yeah.
And what I think would be kind of cool is like I know you guys have events, Oktoberfest in May. You said
Yeah.
May. Was it spring? What is it called?
It's like spring fling. I think is what we're calling it.
Spring fling.
Yeah, spring fling.
It might be cool to come back and just get like the chaos is happening with the crowd, everything.
Right.
Right.
But for sure, man. Yeah. I mean, the events are always a great time. They're always. I mean, they're ticketed events that we sell at least like probably like 300 tickets to. But I mean, like, regardless, we'll get you guys in and get to hang out for the night. And,
Nice. That'd be fun.
It's always, for the most part, it's a new beer that we release at most of these events too. So you get try a new beer, and then the event itself is always fun. Band, everything going on too.
Yeah.
And then bunch of shenanigans that go on afterwards.
Your scout pride is gone right now.
No, their stouts year round.
Well, no, the oatmeal stouts, yeah, it's just like a winter seasonal. So that'll be. I mean, we have a few kegs of it right now, but as the warmer weather comes, less and less people are buying stouts, so we may actually just get rid of it. There's just like a couple kegs left, and it's like I don't know if we're gonna go. I don't know if we're gonna.
Get rid of
Yeah,
the meeting
yeah.
bag keg now.
Yeah, yeah,
Get rid of it in my trunk.
yeah. If you want, if you have,
Yeah, I'm putting this keg in my house. I'm doing it.
if you have a kegerator, let me know. Let me know for sure. Yeah.
Hey, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Depot videos or something.
Yeah, right?
Seriously,
Yeah,
at that
yeah.
point. Oh man,
Yeah, yeah.
that's how they do it.
That's how you do it.
Yep.
Wow,
Yep.
wow.
College free, drill a couple holes and
Well, my brother Scott has a keg. As a keg he sticks in his actual is the fridge down in his basement.
Yeah.
Any beer he kegs, he just stucks it in there and has like two things. It's nothing fancy, nothing like that over there. Where you, I don't know if you can see it on the stream. Nor can
kinda
I
see it.
actually get my mouse. Yeah, right over.
Just a little bit. Are you okay?
Yeah, I flipped it. So where those people are standing right now, right next to that little thing. Anyway, yeah. So that little kegerator there, he doesn't have anything fancy like that. He just has a thing he pulls up, and a little bit of has the CO2 cartridge on it.
Yeah. Yep.
It's done. You know. So.
Yeah, they're not very expensive to make. They're expensive to buy because
Yeah.
all the work's done for you. But if you have the time to do it yourself, man, buy it. Definitely do it. Definitely do it.
You get Minigate to help you out.
I got time to do it.
Drill some holes.
After 9 o'clock, I got time.
There you go.
This is in bed, I got time.
All right, so I think we're gonna call it quits.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, sir.
Dude,
Do appreciate
absolutely, man. No problem.
Thank you
No
again.
problem, for sure. Dude, no problem, man.
Guys,
for sure. For
if
sure.
you're first time watching us, make sure you do click that follow button. If you're watching us on a I guess YouTube or stream there, highlight, definitely make sure you check us out. Say hello. We're here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. This is our normal time frame, and then we do shows like this where we come to breweries and hang out and do stuff like that. So thanks again. Do appreciate it. Have fun. Oh well, we can. I mean, all right. Well, let's see. Who else? Yeah.
So he should be live.
Let's see who the hell's going on. What's going on right now? Got like food on my.
6% sure Red Angel's on.
Oh man.
There he is.
Gamecase is gone. I don't know where he is.
Right there.
Where is he?
You're looking at it right there, right?
I do not see the game.
His name just now.
No, that's Red Angel. I don't see Gamecase.
Oh, game case.
Cuddles.
He might not be. He might actually be. If it's
Cuddles. All right.
All right. Yeah,
So.
because he's doing the stack up also.
Yep. Give some love to Red. We will see you guys soon. Thanks again for hanging out. I do appreciate it. And we will see you Wednesday at 8 p.m. Have a good night, guys. Cheers.